Hello, and welcome to The Porch with Elishea Barlow. Hi, I'm Elishea Barlow, author of The Porch, a place for enjoyment, conversation with people, reflection, and encouragement. Hi.
Hello.
I am here with Miss Melanie Anthony. This is Elishea with The Porch, and I met Melanie, a few years back. She is the Senior Director of Marketing at the REI of Oklahoma Women's Business Center. And they have so many programs there. And I wanted to talk with her and have her to come and meet me on the porch and have a conversation about the Women's Business Center, since this is March, Women's History Month. And women, we've come a long way.
We have.
We have a long ways to go.
We have a long ways to go still, but we're getting there.
A lot of progress. And as women, we contribute a lot in business. And I just wanted to kind of get some information from her in regards to, the things that are offered through the Women's Business Center. How did that come about? Maybe even, who saw the need for having a women's business center, and why is that so? And the things that, we can all get or benefit from in participating. Again, there's so many programs, and we'll kind of talk about some of the programs and services that are offered through the Women's Business Center. But kind of tell us about yourself a little bit, Melanie.
Sure. Myself, well, I have worked in the nonprofit sector almost my entire adult career, worked in social service, and now I'm working in economic development, which is really just an extension of the work I've done, because if we get people to somewhere more stable, how can we get them to that next thing in their life that makes things better for them? And when you're talking about women, sometimes the best thing for them is starting their own business, having their own control of their schedules and what's important to them and their financial stability. And so it's been an exciting time for me to be in this role and to work in the community like I have.
And you've been with REI for several years now. I think at the last meeting that I attended, which was the breakfast meeting this month, we were celebrating, 14 years or something?
Not me.
Not you.
No, Jennifer.
Okay.
Yes. Jennifer's but I've been there close to almost a year and a half. So,
a year and a half.
Yeah. It just feels like I've been around you that long time. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Elishea.
That's good.
But no, and it's one of those things that when you talk about the Women's Business Center and the need that you were referencing, how we came about that, it really just came from our beginnings as an organization as a whole.
Okay.
So REI Oklahoma was actually founded in 1982, and it was focused in southeastern Oklahoma because there wasn't a lot of economic opportunity there for individuals.
Wow. Okay.
And it was started to bring in some of those federal dollars into our state to help that part of the state really stand up business, find employment opportunities, and remove barriers to resources like things like capital, trainings, and the like.
Okay.
And then over the years, we've just grown and added programs. And almost 22 years ago is when we actually added the Women's Business Center. It's as one of the programs of REI Oklahoma. And REI's Women's Business Center is the only statewide Women's Business Center in Oklahoma. So we go to every zip code, every county, rural, urban, suburban, and offer those services.
So are there centers in every city, or because I noticed there's a lot of meetings like in Durant, Oklahoma City, Tulsa. I do see things like in maybe Wagner. So just various parts of the state there's meetings. Are there also centers there as well, or do you just have meetings there?
Well, there's not necessarily centers. We're mobile. Our
Okay.
headquarters are in Durant because that's where we started. And we
Okay.
have offices in Oklahoma City. We have offices in Tulsa. We have 2 remote workers up in Alva.
Okay.
And then we hit the road a lot. We travel and we bring people together. I don't want to say convenings, but you kind of bring people together to build community, because that's so important, especially for women business owners and entrepreneurs, because oftentimes these women didn't see another woman that owned her own business, started her own business, grew her own business, and it can be very lonely. So finding ways that we can have connections, whether it's through these networking events like you're talking about, the breakfast here in Oklahoma City, the breakfast in Wagner, the lunches in Durant, or the events they have in Enid, for example. Those are just ways to bring people together. Then, of course, we have all of our trainings, which are either in person or virtual or hybrid at this point.
Okay. Now, there was just recently, wasn't there some type of big conference or something was it this week that I missed out on?
Oh, there was a conference that we were part of about a week and a half ago that was through Oklahoma State in Women in Business that we were part of. And it was up in the Tulsa area. And then we also were a partner with the Oklahoma City Thunder Day seminar they have. But we are having a Southeastern Women's Summit in Durant that anyone can come to, obviously. But it kind of focuses on that part of the state. And and we'll have another one that's in the Lawton area and one in the Tulsa area, and then eventually one here in Oklahoma City as well.
Okay, wow. So I want to kind of get more into some of the other things that are going on, but let's kind of talk about maybe how to, if someone is out there listening and they want to know about, getting involved in the Women's Business Center, how do they go about doing that? I know that on your website it talks about a business assessment form. Is that the beginning, or how does one start?
Well, it just depends on where you are. If you're thinking about starting your own business and you just want to learn a little bit more about it, you can literally go to the landing page the homepage of our Women's Business Center and sign up to get just our e-newsletter. So then you can kind of see what's happening, what meetings are coming up, what trainings are coming up. And then if you have kind of started that business planning and you really are ready to start having one-on-one consultations with our Women's Business Center team members, which, of course, all of this is at no cost, then you fill out that assessment form. And it might be a little intimidating when you first look at it, but I always tell people to look for the red asterisks and just know that's all you have to fill out. Because the farther along you are in the business, the more the information you have to share. But if you're just starting, you don't really have trends and numbers yet. You don't have, maybe the projections, season projections and things like that others might have that are more established, and now they're just ready to take that next step to grow. So but you can do that. The main website for REI Oklahoma is REIOK.org, or if you want to go straight to the Women's Business Center and just focus on those programs, you can go to REIWBC.org.
Okay. So someone who is just thinking about maybe going into business and they don't really even know how to start, they have an idea, a woman that has an idea. She wants to do something, and maybe she has this idea of what she wants to do. Is the business assessment form where she would start, or does she need to call and maybe talk to someone first, or what would that process be? What is that first step for someone who really wants to just venture out there, but they don't have an idea of how to even start?
I think the best thing to do is just email us, because email, since we are traveling, email is easier to check, right, than voicemails necessarily. So you could email. If that's where you are, you're like, man, I've been thinking about this for a long time. I think it's something that I could make into an income, into a business, or maybe it's been kind of somebody's side hustle. And it's like, I think this could be like a real business, like where I don't need my day day job? Like, what does this look like? Then you could just email us at wbc@reiook.org.
Okay.
And just, just in the subject line, just put Women's Business Center inquiry.
Okay.
And then in it, just bullet out, this is where I am. I'd love to meet with someone to talk this out, and then someone will reach out to you normally within 24 to 48 hours.
Okay.
Unless it's a Friday, then it'll be Monday before they get back to you. But they'll reach out and try to see if they can schedule a time and learn and to have a conversation and get something on the books where they can visit with you.
Okay. So it talks about business counselors. What type of counseling is provided?
Goodness. I think the one thing that's really cool about the Women's Business Center, and really all of our Oklahoma's programs, but the Women's Business Center, we have specialists in that program. Like, one was in banking for 25 years. So anything financial or budgeting or lending or anything like that, very insightful. And she was a manager for 20 of those years.
I think I have her card.
Okay, that's Leslie. Leslie is amazing. And then you have Jennifer, she's all business planning. Like, you want to work on a business plan, an operational plan, she's your gal because she likes that. Okay. And that is how her head works from a organizational standpoint. And then Marla, her emphasis is marketing and social media. So the good thing is they can all work in all the different areas, but if there's ever anything that's like, I haven't had this question before, they have internal connections that they can say. They can reach out to Leslie or Marla or someone else even in another department to say, hey, what can we do here? What do you think? So, and I think that's one thing that's great when you have, kind of that umbrella organization that all the programs stack under, like our business lending program and our minority business program and our housing program and our women's business center, and their trainings program, like all of these things can really work well together to kind of fill those gaps that someone might have.
Great. Now, I was looking on there. I know that a while back, a long time ago, I did have a kind of a mentor or whatever through SCORE. Mm-hmm. Now, is SCORE, does REI also utilize the counselors of SCORE, or how do they work together in that regards?
So we use our own counselors. And I think the other thing, I know we're really focusing on Women's History Month, but we do need to make sure people understand, like, just because how we're funded, we have to serve 75% of our clients being women. We do serve men as well. Like, I just had a conversation with a gentleman to learn about how he worked with us because we were the right people for him to work with. Okay. So all of these services are available just through our various programs. But for SCORE, for example, they office in our building. Okay. Like here in Oklahoma City, they have an office in our building. They have volunteers that they meet with and have consultations and things like that. And they're all, I think most are retired business professionals, either from the military or from accounting or different fields. Okay. And then, but we do get referrals from them. We get referrals from Small Business Administration of Oklahoma and other organizations like that.
Okay. All right. So I looked at the calendar, and the calendar is full of services and activities that are coming up. Kind of talk about some of the things that you got coming up. I know that the next thing that I saw was something about a farmers market, gearing up for farmers market.
Yeah. So, and this is the thing. If there's so many different types of businesses and opportunities that people can step into. So now this training that you're referencing, it's one we're getting into farmers market season. So what are those things we need to do? How do we need to prep? What do we need to get ready for? How can we have the best type of experience at the farmers market for our business that we can? So we try to have trainings like that. There's the federal government actually puts back dollars for women business owners to be able to fund some of those bids. So we actually do a certification program where we help with the training and certification for a certified women's business center. Certified women's business. Sorry, excuse me, as I get tongue-tied here. But and I think that's what I like about this program is that once you go through that process, you have this certification, and that opens the door for you to actually bid on RFPs or contracts from the federal government, state government, local government, county government, even some corporations. And this is through the Women's Business Center on the federal level. So it's really important to go through that certification because you have an opportunity to apply for certain types of jobs that you can administer, and then those dollars are put back for a certain percentage, are put back for women.
Yeah.
So once you have that, you can look at what they're looking for, what contracts are out there. Do they align with services that you offer? Okay. And then submit those bids. So, and that is one of those things that does cost. I think we charge $200 for that. But if you go through another certification somewhere that goes through someone else to do it, it can be $2,000. So
and this is to be a certified women's business.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So, so those are things that are really important. Sometimes people just, maybe they're a creative and they're just not, they never really worked in Excel or they never worked in QuickBooks. Right. So we have those types of trainings.
I have that written down on my calendar. You've had several of those, and every time something comes up, I'm like, okay, I've got to attend those. Yeah. They're virtual.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And we have a few that are hybrid because sometimes it's just better to be in person for questions and things like that.
I'm a in-person type of person.
But what's been great, and I think everybody, when the pandemic first happened, when, March of 2020 for us here in Oklahoma, when that became a reality here, once we went to 100% online, it was so much easier for someone in Guyman or someone down in, out in Atoka or up somewhere, in Okemah or Okmulgee to be able to attend these classes, and they didn't have to wait for someone to come to their area. Yes. So that's been important, and we want to keep that going.
Yes.
So for some, and there was a huge influx of women leaving the workforce in 2020 and 2021. And then also there's been women wanting to turn what they think is a side hustle, what they've always into an actual business. And again, it goes back to that part where if you didn't have anyone around you that did that, or your current, maybe you were a stay-at-home mom and now you're an empty nester. And it's like, you know what? I have this skill. I'm an excellent seamstress. I'm the best housekeeper on the planet. I did all the marketing for the PTO or PTA, whichever it's called in your school. These are areas I want to go into because I'm good at it and I could turn something into it. Or I started in construction with my dad years ago, and then I quit to be at home, but I want to go back. I want to do remodeling or design or things like that. So if you hadn't been in that field, things change so much. So having trainings like with the Google Docs, and knowing how to, what marketing might look like now, understanding how to project numbers for income coming in, but also your costs going out. Like those types of trainings are really important.
And then again, for those, whether it's a at-home mom or just, a woman who has worked for someone and now wants to work for themselves.
Exactly.
I see that you have a program coming up to how to write a business plan.
Yes, we get a lot of great feedback on that. And so back in the day when you think of business plans, you think of these 40-page to 60-page documents that are like so thick and heavy that they're hard to digest, right? Nowadays, depending on what you do, your business plan could be 2 to 3 pages, or it could be 40 pages, right? But one thing that we do very well is our template that we have is very adaptive. Right. It's more or less a guideline to follow, and it's not so rigid that you don't feel like you don't fit. Okay. Because everybody can fit, right? Yeah. There's something, we all have intrinsic value. We all have some level of skill that we can turn into a way to bring in extra revenue or the primary source of revenue for ourselves and our family. Yes. So that's really important on that business plan.
I saw that. That
training.
was like, that's really good. That's because a lot of people, I think, want to know, how do I start? How do I write a business plan? What do I need to do? And this is the place to go.
Yes.
You have the people to talk to.
Yeah.
You have the experts that can show them, the information that they need and how to go about doing that. And so that's great. And then in April, you have marketing on a shoestring budget. I mean, okay.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
Well, and you have to think about it. Women, first off, women are under-resourced when it comes to getting qualified for lending and other things, right? So, which is kind of funny because we're usually the ones running the budget in our households, right?
Exactly.
But because we're also used to running that budget, we don't necessarily step into something until we feel like we're ready or we have a plan or we have the resources. So things like this where you have how to market on a shoestring budget, it's like, okay, let's start somewhere. We got to start somewhere. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can accomplish. And then once you see some of that ROI, then you can go on to those next levels. But so things like that we just want to make sure things are available.
And out there. And they are. I know that one of the things that I go to is the business breakfast, which is every month at 8:30 on, what's that, the first Thursday?
First Thursday,
And so I tell you, this last one was amazing. It was really, I don't know.
I might have wept a little.
Yeah, well, it was really good. It was so diverse.
Yes.
It was so diverse, and not just culturally, but also in the levels of women that had experience.
Yes.
You had stay-at-home moms there. She even brought her baby.
I know. She had her baby with
she's
her.
Like, I'm at home with my child, but I have this, I'm working on this.
Yes.
And then you had the women there that spoke, Spanish, very little English.
Yes.
And I tell you, there was tears, there was laughter, there were people hugging, there were women supporting women, which is what it's all about.
And it is. And for years we were told there wasn't enough room for us, right? So we were so competitive with each other.
Yes.
And we now know that's not the case. That's not the case.
That's
not
the
truth. And it doesn't have to be. So when you come to a place like that's a safe place, and you give you do some mingling and mixing, and visiting with people before. And then once we go around and all introduce ourselves and say what our business is and what we do or what we're looking for to partner with or things like that. It's a great opportunity. And for so many people, that's their first time to speak publicly.
Yeah.
And it can be scary even in that environment, because especially if you start with someone that's been doing it for, been in their own boss for 25, 30 years, because we have a few of those in there. And they're like, their pitch is down to here and it's swap. And it's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to forget my name when I stand up. You know what I mean? So it's like, you want to be able to make sure everybody has their voice, that they're seen, that they're valued, because we all start somewhere.
Exactly.
We all start somewhere.
One of the things you said that was said during that meeting several times, this is a safe space. I heard that several times. This is a safe space. And it just brought about a different atmosphere, when people really felt that it was safe, I can talk, okay, and they felt more comfortable. And I tell you, it was one of the best meetings that I, have been to. It was really, I thought it was really good. And then, of course, there were door prizes, and that made it even better.
I know. Door prizes are great. But no, I think that's really important because I've been at events before when I've, spoken and done something, not done something, but you know what I mean, where we've talked about it and going around the room, and then someone in the space might have corrected you. Yeah. And it's like, and there's none of that. Yeah. But what there is there's feedback. Yeah. So afterwards, I'll have people, women come up to me and like, okay, what could I have done better? Is there something else I should have said? Or what, you know what I mean? And that's more of a coaching opportunity. Yeah. And because nothing they did was wrong because they did it, but you
Yeah.
know, I know you have this great service, and these are all women, so why don't you mention this next time, because that might
Exactly.
be important to them. It's like when you were talking about the podcast. It's like, this is a great tool
Yeah.
for to get the word out and have conversations and let people share about what they're doing
Yeah.
and making connection, because even though this is going to be on someone's phone or in their ear or on their laptop, however they choose to listen to their podcast, they're going to feel some level of connection
Yes.
to those folks. And it's like, man, that sounds like a really cool business, and I need to have my house purified. And so I'm going to,
Exactly.
she sounded really approachable and nice, and I think I can trust her. So I'm going to reach out.
Okay. Well, tell me, is there, what are some other things that maybe REI has got going on in the future, or, where do you see maybe other things that are coming up? That
Okay.
maybe.
Well, so one thing I think that is great for anyone to go to is I would have them go to REI Oklahoma's main website, reiok.org. It lists all of our trainings, not just our Women's Business Center trainings, but trainings that might benefit people interested in lending and what that looks like. People who might, I'm a minority business owner that wants to get their Minority Business Center certification.
Okay.
Maybe someone needs technical assistance. So
Do you all help with that?
Yes,
Okay.
that's part of our training. That's on the main training calendar.
Okay.
All of our programs on the main REI Oklahoma website, all of our trainings are integrated into one calendar. And you can actually pick if you don't want to look at all of them, you can pick the tab that most is interesting to you.
Okay.
We have... well, we're starting to work on it now. It's not till October, but we have a event called Dream Big Oklahoma, and it's where we celebrate the big thinkers, the big innovators, and those making things better for Oklahoma, where we actually honor and celebrate those folks. So, and probably in mid to late April, you'll see a post, because we have 3 main awards that can be nominated from the community, and then they're put in front of a panel.
And are all these women?
No, these are across the board. This is for REI Oklahoma as a whole.
Oh, okay.
But we did have a few women winners last year. So let's, I think that we can get that out there and share, because it's our Dream Big Award, it's our Vision Award, and so those things are really fun, especially to nominate people for. So keep a lookout for that. And that's a great event. We have it in Shawnee because it's easily accessible since we're statewide.
Okay.
The food's good. There's no auctions or anything like that. So once you buy your ticket to get there, you've already made your investment, because it really is about celebrating. And we want to make sure people are there and are acknowledged for what they're doing in business.
Well, Melanie, I thank you so much for coming and joining me on the porch. Again, Melanie is with REI Women's Business Center of Oklahoma. If you are a female woman and you're thinking about, having your own business or wanting to start your business, or you're in a business and you're wanting to grow a business, consider calling REI and, talking with Melanie and some of the other counselors that are there. They're a great group of people. I thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening and joining me on the porch. Remember to take time to reflect, share memories, and engage with others on your porch. And I'll meet you here next time on The Porch, your podcast for community conversations. Brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.